Hello, good afternoon. This topic I will introduce quick sort. What is the quick sort? Before we talk about quick sort, we'll use a sample to describe the quick sort. Quick sort is the next is a group. This group is a data group for us. Or for the quick sort, we should to the pick a pivot, and then we the divide the group into two parts. One part, this is a subgroup of this parent group. This subgroup, one of the data will less than the pivot, and this another group subgroup, one of the data is bigger than the pivot. So for the subgroup, we still use the quick sort language choice or select pivot, and so they divide this the subgroup into two subgroups. This subgroup, one of the data of this subgroup less than pivot if we select 15 as a pivot. And this subgroup, one of the data of this subgroup is bigger than pivot. Next, we talk about this subgroup. For this subgroup, we find a pivot. The pivot is 47, and we'll use this quick sort algorithm to process the subgroup, and then this subgroup will divide two parts. The left part, subpart, was the less than this pivot, and the right part of the data of the right part was the bigger than pivot. So you can find this is a pivot from the left subgroup. So all of the data of this subgroup of the left subgroup less than the pivot. So we choose another pivot. This is another pivot less than this is the pivot 28. All of the data of this subgroup are bigger than the pivot. So in the next node, we choose the pivot. One of the pivot is was bigger than this pivot. So we use after the second loop, you can find what is the subgroup or less than this pivot. This subgroup or less than or bigger than this pivot, and the all of the data were the less than this pivot. Of course, for this subgroup, all of the data was bigger than the 28. So we select 47 as a pivot. So we use the same algorithm. I divide the subgroup into two parts. The left part of data was less than the pivot, and in the right side of the data was bigger than this pivot. So all of the data is bigger than this group. This was very like what is a tree, a binary tree. A binary tree, this is the meaning. Now we use another example to continue introduce the meanings about the quick sort. This is a data group, data group, and we select 65 as a pivot. Where they use the quick sort algorithm, will divide this group S into two parts. The first part is S1, the second part is S2, and then all of the data of S1 were less than the pivot. All data of S2 were bigger than the pivot. So This is the first. This is the first loop. For the next, we use the same. We use the same algorithm. Or at the end of the same algorithm, you can find all of this subgroup will be stored in order, and the all of the data will less than the pivot. And this subgroup, all of the data will be bigger than the pivot. And we use the same main algorithm. Okay, to store the data in order. So these two subgroup where they merge together and they merge the pivot in the end. So we get the S. S is the quick sort the result. The quick sort result. So next we can describe what is the quick sort. Quick sort the pick a pivot value from the arrow and partition the list around the pivot value, and next the sort the left half, so the right half, and the end. That's the end. All of the data will be the store in order. This is the idea and algorithm around the quick sort. Next, we will use another sample to describe how to sort the left half, how to sort the right half, and how to partition the partition of the arrow. So this is the arrow, and this is the first element with the first element, second element, and the end of element. This is the arrow, and this is the not stored in order. So we use the counter. One counter is from the bottom increase to the top. Another counter from the top decrease to the bottom. We call the first counter is I, the second counter is J. You can find I from the 0 to increase to the top. If I meet a value, if the value is bigger than the pivot, and I will stop here. J will meet the search and find a value. If the value is less than the pivot, I will stop here, and then I and J will then exchange. This is the idea to the separate the arrow. So you can find I will increase from 0 to here. If from the 1 is less than the 5, okay, we'll go the second. 3 is less than 5, we'll go the second until I find 9. 9 is bigger than the pivot. I stop here. And J first is the 8, and 8 is bigger than the pivot. Go ahead. 6 is bigger than the pivot. Go ahead. 2. Go ahead 2, and I find the 2. I find the 2 is less than the pivot. So J stop here, and then I stop here. J stop here. So I will exchange. Then add this is the location or store to J this location. This is the location or store to the 9. And then I continue the search. J continue the search. And then we move to the here. I stop in 7 because 7 is bigger than the pivot. J will continue and the decrease, and stop in the 4, because 4 is the that is the less than the pivot, because when look at the first element is 5 as a pivot. So I and J will exchange, and then I store this location will store 4. This location will store 7. And then I continue increase. J continue decrease. And in here, you can find after the after the 0, all of the data, all of the data is bigger than is J is 7, and I will stop in 7, so I and J will stop in here, but J will continue to next, go to the next 0. The 0 is the less than the pivot, so they were the exchange. They were exchange, and then in here, 5 will move to the 0, and 0 will move to the 5, this location. So this is the separate. This separate this data to the 2 part. In this part, well, this is the pivot. This in the left of this the pivot. The left data subdata, the left subdata less than the pivot, and the right subdata bigger than the pivot. So this is the pivot and the separate the algorithm. This is the first loop, and based on this algorithm, we can search or sort in the second loop. We will use choose another for those subgroup, the subset. We choose one pivot, and for this we choose one pivot. We still use this algorithm. We complete or until all of the data stored in order. This is the quick sort example. Are you clear? You have question? Thanks so much for the short presentation, for your taking the short presentation. If you have question, please contact to me, contact to me by the email or during my office hour, so on. Thanks so much.